how and why we use overseas talent in our business. So what is overseas talent? Overseas talent simply is anybody that's not inside the US that's going to be working for your US business. So how do we use them in our business? We own a home service business and we use them predominantly for call center, but we also use them for admin and data entry roles. For this discussion, I'm going to keep it focused on call center because we use the most of them there. So why do we use them? Well, they're a great cost-effective way for after hours and overflow calls. So we use them for our nighttime CSR and dispatch. So if you call at 9 p.m. at night, you'll probably get one of our overseas talent. And then during the day, none of our calls are even. So we don't get one call, one call, one call, one call. We usually get 8 calls, 1 call, 2 calls, 10 calls. And so they do overflow, which is wonderful. It helps us make sure that we're capturing all the calls that are coming to us, and it helps out our business. So what I find a lot of times when I tell people that I hire overseas talent, they said, oh, I tried that. It just didn't work out. Like, it was really rough. It didn't work out. And I always ask why. And after hiring about 20 or 30 of these folks, I can see where the pitfalls that I've made, and I can see where the pitfalls that others are potentially going to make. And so one of the biggest ones that I'm really adamant about is hiring for time zone. So we hire all of our overflow, which is our 9 to 5 window of time. We hire them all from South America. And the reason we do that is because we believe that we're going to get the best talent that's during their daytime, their normal working hours. Just like I feel like in the US, we get some of our best talent during normal working hours. It's not very common that we find many people want to work nights, want to work weekends. So for our daytime overflow, we look South America. For our nighttime, because the time zone change, we look for the Philippines. That's the first thing, is hire for your time zone. I feel like that is an extremely easy thing to do. We use Upwork to hire all our talent. So what that allows us to do is we can just filter for location, and based on position, that's how we choose. The next big step, and I think this is a crucial piece that people always miss, is make sure that in your job description, you are going far above and beyond. So what happens with overseas talent is communication gets so much harder, and the distance and the time, like if I'm trying to communicate with someone who is sleeping right now and they're not going to get my correspondence until later today, we want everything that we're telling them to be very intentful, but also extremely detailed. So we can't skimp on that. That's not what we do in our company, and that allows them to have a better idea of what they're supposed to do, because we can't just on the fly tell them something. In-depth job descriptions. You really want them to know exactly what they're doing so that they know if they're a good fit, and with little ambiguity. So we've put in a good job description. We've hired for the right time zone. What is the next step? The next step is I require a voice memo of why they want to work for me. One, it's somebody's putting in the effort to actually care and not just hitting a button that says apply. They care enough to put in a voice memo. So that means a lot to me personally. But the second part too is I want to hear them in terms of, I want to hear their accents. I want to hear their accents, not because it worries me from a call center perspective. I mean, it's definitely a worry if they're not fluent, but more so if they're fluent in English, it means that they've probably worked in a call center before for a US Fortune 500 company. So Fortune 500 companies ship a lot of their call centers out to the Philippines and South America all the time. And so if their English is fluent, they understand kind of how the verbiage of the US languages and the culture, then a lot of times they have worked for one of those companies or they went to a US school. And so I find that the people who are more fluent are usually, they're a lot easier to work with in the long term. So that's what I'm looking for, to kind of cull the giant herd down to a few really good candidates. And then I ask them those questions. Hey, where have you worked before? What is the trainings? What's the scripts that you've had previously? And we can get usually down to 2 or 3 really good candidates from that. And then the last bit is more on the other side. Like, so we've hired them. Great. They're a great fit. It seemed like they're a great fit. Now, how do we keep them and how do we keep them happy? So one of the first things that we do is make sure that we line out all the SOPs. We standard operating procedures, we don't want them to have ambiguity, because once again, we're back to the time zone issue. We're back to the distance issue. It's much harder to communicate with them. So the more detailed we are on exactly what their job duty is and how they are supposed to get KPIs to us and how they're supposed to get all that information back to you and what they're supposed to do, the better they're going to do. They're going to succeed at their job and be happier with it. So that's one of the big things we do. Another thing we do is after 30 days, if they're in the Philippines, we buy them a generator, just because power can go in and out there much quicker than it does here. It's a lot less stable. And so we always buy them a generator to make sure that, hey, you can use this for your house when you're not working, but also, while you're working, you have steady power. So it's a big win. I think that they tend to really like that little bonus, and we like giving it to them. So those are some of the big why we use overseas talent, how we use overseas talent, how we hire them, and kind of some best practices that we have found that really work for our business. And I hope it helps you all too.